My boyfriend thought I was too fat at 121 pounds. I signed up for a gym and started working out like crazy, but the more I tried to lose weight, the more I gained. Meanwhile, my best friend, Chloe Woods, was doing late-night eating streams every single day, stuffing herself with steaks, seafood, and greasy takeout. Not only did she not gain weight, she dropped from 154 pounds to 143. Whenever my boyfriend started tearing into me even worse than before, I suddenly heard the tabby cat's voice in my head. You idiot. Chloe's got you trapped in a weight swap system. No matter how hard you try to lose weight, she's the one getting thinner. Every pound you lose is a pound she drops. She's trying to ruin you. I froze and turned to look at my best friend, Chloe. She was staring at my boyfriend without even trying to hide it, her eyes full of admiration. Then the tabby's voice exploded in my ears again. Chloe is obsessed with that trashy loser. Once she gets skinny, the two of them will hook up. Then they'll team up to get you killed and spend your settlement money living a happy life. The moment I learned the truth, I smiled. Since my so-called best friend wanted to be skinny that badly, if I made her whole body weigh less than 40 pounds, she'd probably be very grateful to me, right? My boyfriend, Jason Miller, kept going, his voice full of contempt. Can you stop eating already? You've got a double chin now. You look like a pig. And you seriously think I'm supposed to propose to you looking like that? I'm telling you right now, if you don't get down to 100 pounds, forget about marriage. I looked at myself in the mirror, still trying to steady myself after the shock of hearing a cat's thoughts. I was 5'6" and weighed 121 pounds. That was a perfectly healthy, normal weight. But the way Jason talked, you'd think I was huge. I'd loved him so much before that I really had tried to lose weight. I was eating 1 meal a day. I was working out like crazy. I was practically starving and exhausting myself just to slim down. All because I wanted his approval. And not only did he not care, he kept mocking me the whole time. It was ice cold. Chloe stuffed the imported fruit I'd bought into her bag and chimed right in. Exactly. Jenna, it's not just the double chin now. Your arms are getting thick too. You've got way too much flab. Honestly, I feel like you could punch Jason to death at this point. You sure this whole diet thing isn't just talk? Are you secretly sneaking good food behind everyone's back? If you keep getting fatter, Jason's really going to dump you. And when that happens, don't come crying to me. Before I could say a word, the tabby's voice exploded in my head again. What a vicious little bitch. The only reason my owner can't lose weight is because you bound her to that stupid weight swap system. Every pound my owner loses goes straight onto you, and every pound you gain from stuffing your face gets dumped onto her. That's why the more she diets, the fatter she gets. Owner, you may be the minor side character in this story, but you've actually got amazing luck. You have to stay away from this trashy man and this scheming witch. Not only are they going to get you killed, after you die they'll use your money to start a company and end up on top. Listening to the cat's furious rant, then seeing the gloating look on Chloe's face, something twisted hard in my chest. I'd known Chloe since high school. We'd been friends for 10 years. We graduated, struggled, and built our lives side by side. When she needed money, I gave it to her. When she had nowhere to stay, I took her in. When she had emotional breakdowns, I was the one who stayed up comforting her. I'd really thought we were inseparable. I never imagined she'd stab me in the back like this. But if all of this was true, then now was not the right time to turn on them. Jenna, are you deaf or what? Why aren't you saying anything? Jason snapped, already annoyed. I swallowed my anger and smiled. I heard you. I'll work hard and lose the weight. Don't worry. Really? Chloe's eyes lit up. Then do it right. 100 pounds is the prettiest weight for you. She kept stressing the number, and my eyes went cold. But on purpose, I wrapped myself around Jason's arm and spoke in a sweet, clingy voice. Of course. If my boyfriend wants me to lose weight, then I'll be a good girl and lose weight. Otherwise, how am I supposed to become his beautiful bride? Jason nodded, satisfied. Chloe's face darkened instantly, and her eyes filled with jealousy. The next second, she grabbed me and yanked me to my feet. Enough, Jenna. Don't act all lovey-dovey in front of me. You're so fat right now. Aren't you afraid you'll crush your boyfriend? Why don't you focus on an actual weight loss plan instead of gaining even more? I let her drag me, my gaze turning colder. The jealousy was so obvious. How had I never noticed it before? How stupid had I been? I shook her hand off. I've already hired a private nutritionist. I also signed up for Pilates. I'm tackling both diet and body shaping. I'll slim down fast. Jason's interest sparked instantly. Pilates is great. I heard it really shapes your body. You know, curves in all the right places, tiny waist. He clicked his tongue. Jenna, you're not bad looking to begin with. If you get a killer body, that'll really boost your appeal. I'll look good taking you out too, so you better work hard. Chloe smiled, but there was something off about it. I took in every expression on their faces. Whatever love I had left disappeared. All that remained was disgust and hatred. I wanted to slap them both. One of them constantly tearing me down, acting like I was beneath him. A shallow, broke loser with a superiority complex. The other secretly manipulating things behind my back, stealing my weight, flirting with my boyfriend, and eventually teaming up with him to kill me just so she could enjoy my money. What a perfect pair. Since fate had given me a glimpse of the future, I was going to use it. They were going to pay. The next day, I started my weight loss plan. Chloe dragged me out before sunrise for a run. Right after that, she happily went to grab burger and donuts for breakfast. I ran in the morning, worked all day, then pushed myself even harder at the gym at night. My legs trembled from exhaustion. Hunger made my vision blur. By the time I finally got home and collapsed on my bed, I checked my phone. Jason had been liking and commenting on some girls' posts. "Hey cutie, wanna hang out? I'm single. I've got a 1-month business trip coming up, so I've got plenty of free time." My stomach churned with anger and disgust. I tossed the phone aside. So it wasn't just Chloe. He'd been cheating behind my back too. If it weren't for the tabby's voice, I would have still been in the dark. Without hesitation, I gave the tabby 2 big chicken drumsticks. And just like that, I heard its thoughts again. "Wow, these drumsticks are amazing. My owner is so pretty and kind. But my silly, beautiful owner, you can't keep dieting like this. You're working yourself to the bone, and in the end it's all benefiting that evil woman." I listened quietly, then pulled the tabby into my arms and kissed it. "Don't worry. The real show hasn't even started yet." After a month of extreme dieting, I suggested going to an all-you-can-eat buffet. But I'd gained a noticeable amount of weight. I tried on several dresses I used to love. Some wouldn't go over my hips. Others tore at the waist. Jason had just come back from his business trip. The moment he saw me, his face went dark with anger. "Eat, eat, eat. That's all you ever do. You've been dieting for over a month, and you went from 121 to almost 130? Your neck is practically merging with your face. I told you to lose weight. Why are you getting fatter instead?" Chloe walked over, swaying her hips, covering her mouth in fake shock. "Jenna, I told you not to slack off when dieting. Look at you. You spent all that money and got 0 results. You're so irresponsible. Unlike me, I didn't even join a gym. I eat a ton every day, I even do late-night eating streams, and I still lost 20 pounds. It's honestly so annoying." I looked at Chloe. She'd lost a lot of weight lately. Her face had slimmed down, and her already tall, slender figure looked even more defined. With her collarbones and toned midsection showing, she carried herself with a whole new kind of confidence. With makeup, her small eyes actually gave her that soft, delicate kind of pretty. I pretended not to notice the smug look on her face, and sighed in frustration. I don't even know what's going on. I barely eat anything every day, and my trainer works out with me. Why haven't I lost any weight at all? Seeing how defeated I looked, Chloe couldn't hide her smile anymore. Maybe it's just fate. I'm one of those lucky people. No matter how much fried chicken or burgers I eat, I still lose weight. Right, Jason? Jason was a practical man. He used to brush Chloe off, but now that she looked noticeably better, even his tone softened. "Yeah, Chloe, with a body like yours, anyone would look good bringing you out." After exchanging looks with him, he turned back to me and started pressuring me again. "Jenna, look at yourself, then look at Chloe. As a woman, can you have some self-awareness? You're this fat, and you still think your life has meaning? I'm warning you, lose the weight. If you can't even fit into your wedding dress, and end up embarrassing me at the wedding, don't blame me if I stop being nice about it. You're not allowed to eat at the buffet tonight. I'm taking Chloe instead. Once you actually lose the weight, I'll take you." Chloe flipped her hair. "Exactly. Jenna, stay home and work out tonight. If you don't have the natural advantage, then you just have to work twice as hard." I didn't respond. The tabby bared its teeth in my head, ranting furiously. "You shameless witch. You stole my owner's weight, and you still have the nerve to act like this. And you trashy loser. You don't even have as much money as my owner. What gives you the right to talk to her like that? Without her, you wouldn't even know where your next meal is coming from." I couldn't help but laugh. After watching them leave, I picked up the tabby and kissed it over and over. "It's okay, baby. It's too early to say who's going to win." A week later, I was at work when my home security system alerted me that someone had entered my room. Jason and I were about to get married, but I insisted on sleeping in separate rooms. He never went into mine. So I pulled up the footage. There was Chloe, rummaging through my closet. In the end, she pulled out the silk nightgown I'd always been reluctant to wear. Without hesitation, she stripped off her clothes and slipped into it, staring at herself in the mirror as she murmured, "If we're going to chase excitement, we might as well go all the way." When Jason walked in, she hiked up the hem of the nightgown and lay back on my bed, her legs crossed deliberately. "Jason, do you want to kiss my legs?" Jason walked over with a grin. "You're such a tease." The next second, the two of them were tangled together, rolling around on my bed. A vein throbbed at my temple. This bed was filthy now. It had to go. Otherwise, I'd throw up just looking at it. After they were done, Chloe curled up in his arms, acting spoiled. Jason, what if Jenna fails to lose the weight? I'll be standing next to her as the maid of honor, looking way prettier than her. Do you think she'll feel embarrassed? Jason kissed her, unwilling to let go. Embarrassed? Do I owe her anything? Haven't I given her enough chances? What man doesn't like a beautiful woman? I want her to succeed at losing weight. What's wrong with that? If she shows up at the wedding looking like a pig and makes me lose face, then that's on her. I'll just switch brides on the spot. She won't have the right to say a word. When that happens, I'll marry you instead. You'd be willing, right? Chloe wrapped her arms around his neck. Of course I would. They smiled at each other, then tangled together again, like they shared some unspoken understanding. I smiled too. Yes. Stay smug like this. The higher you climb, the exciting it'll feel when you come crashing down. I mocked. 3 months later, Jason and I held our wedding as scheduled. The wedding dress had been tailored for a 100-pound figure. I couldn't fit into it, so I grabbed a red gown and changed into that instead. The moment Jason saw me, his face twisted in disbelief. Jenna, it's been 3 months, and you didn't lose a single pound. You got even fatter. You're like a pig now. You've completely disappointed me. You don't deserve to be my bride. I was back to 121 pounds. I wasn't fat at all. He was just ridiculously picky, so he kept tearing me down. His relatives gathered around, whispering and pointing. Didn't you say your fiancée had a great figure? Big chest and nice hips? Why does she look like this? How much does she eat every day? Even his parents looked at me with open disdain. I told my neighbors Jason found a girl from the city, said she was beautiful. Look at her waist. Where's the elegance in that? This wasn't my first time meeting his parents. The first time I met his parents, I went back to his hometown with him. Their house was old and run down. From the moment I arrived, his parents picked me apart. The tonic I brought wasn't good enough, and the liquor I bought wasn't the right kind. Over dinner, his parents said, "People where we're from don't believe in taking money from the groom's family. It seems like selling your daughter. You understand that, right? You're a modern woman. And besides, you're an orphan. Your family can't contribute anything for the wedding. How can you take money from us?" Jason always told me how hard his parents had it, so I should be more understanding. I swallowed everything I could. I even thought I'd been lacking in manners. Back then, I was naive. I thought as long as Jason loved me, that was enough. Looking back now, it was laughable. They'd already been tearing me down before I even married into the family. Good thing I never actually married him. Otherwise, I would have walked straight into hell. I spread my hands casually. If you think I'm too fat, then call off the engagement. I'd always been the obedient type. Seeing my indifferent attitude, Jason snapped instantly. Jenna, what's that supposed to mean? You think just because the invitations are sent and the venue's booked, this wedding is set in stone? You think you can do whatever you want now? Dream on. There's a line of women chasing me all the way to France. A fat pig like you? I don't want you anymore. I crossed my arms. Then don't. Just don't regret it. The only thing I'd regret is marrying a pig like you. Jason let out a sharp laugh. Then he grabbed the microphone and announced it to everyone. Sorry to make a scene, everyone. I'm switching brides today. My new bride is the maid of honor. In terms of looks and body, she's 1,000 times better than Jenna Tanner. Everyone here can be my witness. I'm done with Jenna. Even if she comes crawling back to beg me, I'll never take her back. My smile deepened, but I said nothing. The guests started whispering. The maid of honor? Isn't that the bride's best friend? The bride isn't even ugly, and she's not fat either. If he's switching brides on the spot, the maid of honor must be stunning. Jason shot me a smug look. Chloe, come on out. It's time for us to get married. Under everyone's eager gaze, Chloe slowly walked in from outside. But the moment they saw her, the entire room froze. Eyes widened. Faces filled with shock. Jason's smug smile stiffened. Then he doubled over and started vomiting uncontrollably. The room was so quiet you could hear the hum of the air conditioning. Chloe stood in the arched doorway of the banquet hall. She was wearing the white, custom-tailored wedding dress that had originally been meant for me. But it didn't fit her. It didn't fit anything human. The dress hung off her like a discarded parachute draped over a coat rack. Her collarbones jutted out so sharply they looked ready to tear through her pale, translucent skin. Her arms were nothing but thin rods of bone wrapped in a thin layer of grayish flesh, her elbows bulging grotesquely because there was zero fat or muscle to soften the joints. Her face, the face Jason had just claimed was 1,000 times better than mine, was a living skull. Her cheeks were completely hollowed out, making her teeth look uncomfortably large behind her lips. Her eyes bulged from their sockets, dark purple bags sinking into the hollows beneath them. Because of the severe, rapid malnutrition, patches of her scalp were visible where her hair had fallen out in clumps. She looked like a corpse that had been dug up after 6 months and stuffed into a bridal gown. She had to weigh no more than 50 pounds. Jason. Chloe's voice was thin, raspy, lacking the breath support to even project across the room. She tried to smile, which only stretched the skin tighter across her facial bones, creating a horrifying grimace. Why is everyone staring? Am I that beautiful? Jason took one look at her, doubled over, and threw up his breakfast all over the pristine white aisle runner. Monster! One of his aunts shrieked, backing away so fast she knocked over a tray of champagne glasses. The shattering glass broke the spell, and the hall erupted into chaos. What is that? Is she sick? Oh my god, she looks like she's dying. Jason is leaving his fiancée for that. Chloe's delusional smile faltered. She looked down at herself, then caught her reflection in the mirrored pillar near the entrance. For 3 months, the system had been feeding her dopamine, twisting her perception, making her believe the lighter she got, the more ethereal and gorgeous she became. But standing under the harsh, unforgiving halogen lights of the wedding venue, the illusion shattered. A high-pitched, rattling scream tore from her throat. My face. My body. What happened to me? She clawed at her own arms, but there was nothing to grab. Just loose skin sliding over bone. She took a step forward, but her legs, depleted of all muscle mass, buckled beneath her. She collapsed in a heap of white tulle, looking like a broken marionette. Jason was still dry heaving near the altar. He wiped his mouth, his face pale with horror, and pointed a shaking finger at her. Get her out of here. I'm not marrying a walking skeleton. I stood a few feet away, sipping a glass of ice water. In my head, the tabby cat was rolling around on its back, howling with laughter. Oh, my beautiful owner. This is a masterpiece. Look at her. She stole your weight loss, but she forgot she didn't have your bone density or your baseline health. You starved her out without even skipping a meal. The cat was right. For the last 3 months, I hadn't been dieting blindly. I had consulted a sports medicine doctor and safely dropped my body fat percentage through rigorous weightlifting, high-protein diets, and supervised sauna water cuts. I actually weighed around 110 pounds of lean, toned muscle, but I had worn custom-made silicone padding under my clothes. I sewed lead weights into the hems of my skirts. Every time Jason forced me on the scale, I made sure the numbers read exactly what I wanted him to see. Because of the system's twisted logic, every ounce of fat I burned was violently ripped away from Chloe. But I was building muscle. Chloe wasn't. She was just sitting at home, stuffing her face with greasy takeout, relying on the magic parasite to keep her thin. The system took her fat. Then it took her muscle. Then it started feeding on the tissues surrounding her organs. Jenna. Jason gasped, turning back to me. His eyes were wide with panic. Jenna, I was just joking. A test. Yes, it was a test of your loyalty. You're right, she's repulsive. We're still getting married, right? You're my bride. He actually reached out to touch me. I stepped back, my eyes cold. Slowly, I reached behind my back and unzipped the bulky red gown I was wearing. It pulled to the floor. Beneath it, I was wearing a sleek, tailored black cocktail dress, without the heavy restrictive layers of padding I had strapped to my torso and thighs. My true figure was finally visible. The murmurs in the crowd died down again. My waist was cinched, my shoulders were sculpted, and my posture was flawless. I wasn't just thin, I radiated health and strength. Jason stared at me, his jaw practically hitting the floor. You lost the weight. But the scale. The scale said what I wanted it to say, Jason. I said, my voice echoing clearly through the microphone I had picked up from the altar. I wanted to see how far you would go. I wanted to see if the man who claimed to love me was actually just a shallow, cheating parasite looking for a meal ticket. I pulled a thick manila envelope from the podium, where I had hidden it earlier, and casually tossed it into the air. Dozens of printed photos rained down on the white carpet. Photos of Jason and Chloe tangled in my bed. Screenshots of Jason messaging other women. Copies of his bank statements, proving he had secretly taken out $50,000 in loans against my name, planning to pay it off using the settlement money from my parents' accident once we were legally married. The guests scrambled to pick up the papers. Jason's parents turned ashen as they read the documents. You thought you could marry me, kill me off with Chloe's help, and take my settlement. I laughed, a sharp, biting sound. You don't even have a pot to piss in, Jason. You're broke, you're deeply in debt, and as of this morning, I've pressed charges for identity theft and fraud regarding those loans. Jenna, wait. Jason lunged forward, but 2 of the venue's security guards, whom I had tipped very generously beforehand, stepped in front of him, shoving him back. On the floor, Chloe was sobbing, clutching the excess fabric of her dress. Jenna, Jenna, help me. I'm so cold. Everything hurts. Eat something. Please. You have to eat something right now, make me fat again. I walked over and crouched down, staying just out of her reach. Eat something. I tilted my head. But Chloe, you were the one who said 100 pounds was the prettiest weight for me. I just wanted to share the beauty with my best friend. Are you not grateful? Her sunken eyes widened in pure terror. She realized I knew. She's terrified. She's terrified. The tabby chanted in my mind. The system is breaking. It's feeding on her liver now. Give her a swift kick and let's go get sushi. I stood up, smoothing down my black dress. I looked at the crowd, then at the pathetic, shivering duo that had tried to ruin my life. The wedding is cancelled, I announced. But feel free to stay and enjoy the catering. Jason is paying for it. I turned and walked down the aisle. I didn't look back, not even when Jason started screaming my name, nor when the paramedics rushed in with a stretcher. For Chloe, life without dead weight was remarkably light. Within a week, the scandal of the skeleton bride had gone viral in our city. Someone had recorded the entire wedding debacle and uploaded it. Jason was fired from his mid-level corporate job after his boss saw the video and the subsequent fraud charges I filed against him. I sat in my new sunlit apartment, cutting a premium Wagyu steak into bite-sized pieces. I set the plate on the floor for the tabby, who purred so loudly she sounded like a lawnmower. 10 out of 10. Best owner ever, she thought, happily tearing into the expensive meat. Oh, by the way, I have updates on the trash siblings. I poured myself a glass of red wine and sat on the couch. Tell me. The system is fully uninstalled from you, the cat relayed, washing her paws. Because you consciously rejected the emotional manipulation and broke the bond, the system malfunctioned. It locked Chloe into her current physical state. No matter how much she eats now, her body cannot absorb the nutrients. The parasite is trapped inside her, slowly starving. I took a sip of wine. Where is she? I see you. She's hooked up to feeding tubes, but she's still losing an ounce a day. The doctors are baffled. They're calling it an extreme, incurable metabolic failure. I felt a fleeting second of pity, but it vanished instantly when I remembered the conversation they had on my bed. They had planned my murder. They had laughed about dancing on my grave with my parents' money. Karma wasn't just a concept. Sometimes it was an exact science. My phone buzzed on the coffee table. It was an unknown number. I let it ring out, but it immediately called back. Annoyed, I answered and put it on speaker. Jenna, please don't hang up. It was Jason. He sounded frantic, breathless, and utterly broken. You have 10 seconds before I block this number, I said calmly. I'm begging you. The loan sharks, Jenna, they found me. They say if I don't pay back the 50 grand by Friday, they're going to break my legs. I don't have it. You froze the accounts, I lost my job. My parents won't even talk to me because of the humiliation. 9 seconds. I love you. I always loved you. Chloe bewitched me. She threw herself at me. I was just a stupid man who made a mistake. Please, you have that settlement money. It's just a drop in the bucket for you. Save me, Jenna. I'll do anything. I'll be your slave. I smiled, looking out at the city skyline. Remember what you told me, Jason? When I was eating one meal a day, crying from hunger, trying to fit into a dress for you? You told me that if I didn't have the natural advantage, I just had to work twice as hard. Jenna, please. So get to work, Jason. I hear running from loan sharks is great cardio. It'll really trim down that double chin of yours. I hung up and blocked the number. The tabby jumped onto my lap, rubbing her head affectionately against my hand. He's going to get his legs broken tonight, she purred happily. Should we order dessert? We absolutely should, I said, stroking her soft fur. I walked over to the mirror. The woman looking back at me was vibrant, strong, and entirely her own. I wasn't defined by a number on a scale, by a toxic friend's jealousy, or by a worthless man's approval. I picked up my phone and ordered a massive slice of double chocolate fudge cake. And for the first time in a very long time, I intended to eat every single bite, without a shred of guilt.